As an older person, I have some good advice for freshmen. Finish your degree. It's taken me 25 years to get to this point. And when I was young and indifferent, I didn't understand the value of an education. I didn't understand what it is I wanted to do in this life. Don't waste time. Look at me, take a good look at your future. All right, white hair, wrinkles, the old guy. Finish your degree, stick with it, and put as much effort as you can into it. Only good can come from it. I've always been interested in writing and film, and it just makes sense that those two combined would be what my interest would be. So in a way, screenwriting is kind of a short form of a book, plus you get the visuals. And the reason why for me that I like it so much is because I get a chance to show people what's going on inside my mind. And I know that that can probably be sometimes personal, and it's exposing yourself. It's like being naked in school. But that is what your thoughts are all about, is trying to get those out to a screenplay and then eventually on the big screen and show people what it is you're thinking with the stories that you tell. Being a storyteller is what I want to do. And hopefully I will see something on the big screen. At least I'll keep working until I do. I love screenwriting because I just like the worlds that it takes you to. As a child, I remember growing up with an overactive imagination. So cowboys and space and doing all these crazy things, playing soldier was always a big thrill to me. And the books that I read, at that time it was Tom Sawyer and Treasure Island and anything that had to do with Jules Verne, Mark Twain and all of this. So it's really kind of a boyhood dream to be able to take my ideas that have inspired me from that childhood and to put them into a more adult situation and make good on that. That's why it is that I love screenwriting, to be able to go out there and again tell your ideas and your stories and eventually see that put on to the big screen. It's every film student's dream is to work in film, and that's what I want to do as well. I'm a little bit more of a behind the scenes person, so again with screenwriting for me is the way that I want to pursue that. At the same time, I do have interest in doing maybe some directing. Once I get some formal training myself, although we got some good formal training here at UAF, in order to really make good on that at the master's level is something that I would consider, to do my own short films and to be able to make my own independent movies. However, at the base of it is screenwriting, and that's where it all starts. No movie starts without that. My instructors at Film and Performing Arts in the Liberal Arts College, they are probably some of the finest people that I've ever had the ability and chance to be around. I cannot say enough good about them. There are times that I did not think that I would be able to do some of the things like in acting or directing film. I was pretty much one-sided in just writing, but they showed me that I did have the ability and the availability to go out there and pursue other things, whether it be in acting and directing and other things, being on set and doing production design. Carrie Baker is the acting professor here, and she's well known. And I think the thing that she's seen in me was that she keeps telling me that I have the ability to be an actor. It's not something that I really want to do. I'm not into that, but it's nice to be able to hear that be reinforced and to let me know that it was okay. On a much personal level, I found acting to kind of help me with some personal matters. Not many years ago, back in 2019, I had a head injury, and nobody tells you at the time that what a head injury does is that it does create a lot of emotional issues. So I did suffer from depression, and it was pretty low. And when I came to this school as a means to kind of have some sort of therapy, if you will, it was acting that was able to take that depression and all those negative thoughts and be able to turn that into something creative and positive. I will always remember Carrie Baker for that. Cade Mendelowitz is another professor that is near and dear to my heart. He is the one that has given me so much reinforcement to tell me that I have it, whatever it is. Some form of ability to go out there and make good. And I know that I will, and without trying to sound bragging or anything like that, but I have confidence, and it's because of Cade Mendelowitz that I feel the way that I do, that I have something to offer, and I will make good on that. None other than Maya Selganic has probably been the foundation to everything that I have done here in the FLPA department. She has always been open to ideas. She loves all of her students, and I have been very fortunate to be able to be part of her classes, to be part of her friendship as I've transitioned over into alumni now. And I look very forward to expanding that to a more professional level where we can collaborate and work together on films. And again, I cannot say enough good about her, because going back to the head injury and trying to find my way back from that, it was Maya that was there, that stepped in without having known it, and kind of showed me the way. So it's on a much personal, on a personal level that I say this, but it's also, again, on a professional level too, now that everything has transpired. Well, I've received many scholarships throughout my college career, and they all come in at the right time and help out in so many different ways, not just financially, but it's really more about not having to worry about where the money's going to come from to pay for that class or to pay for that book that you have to get, or a piece of film gear, which is always expensive, especially lenses. Glass is expensive. So I received one in particular from John Smelter for summer classes in the interdisciplinary degree that I have in writing for visual multimedia. And I literally was flat broke, and he came in and helped me out with that. And I was able to get this award based on my own merit. It wasn't because it was out of a hard luck story, but it was John Smelter that really did help me with that particular summer course that I really needed to have. And without that, I would probably have not taken classes that summer. And as a result, probably would be a semester behind instead of graduating this year. I've also received very hefty scholarship, the Harvey Samuelson Scholarship from BBEDC, which is the Bristol Bay Economic Development Corporation out of Dillingham, where I was living at before I came to UAF. And their contribution to my education is, without question, great. Somewhere in the neighborhood of around $5,000 each semester. That's a lot of money, and it was put to good use. I was able to make good on making summa cum laude, not to aggrandize myself, but that money did help me achieve that. So where I didn't have to worry about where money was going to come from and focus solely on my studies. Another scholarship, it was small, but it meant a lot to me, was from Maya Selganic and the FLPA department. It was for making my own film. And it was really nice to receive that scholarship. And it has yet to be made. We're still in the process of going to make that happen. But for $700, yes, it's a college budget, but so much can come from that, as I found. You don't need a lot, and you have many student actors who are willing to participate and do this kind of thing for nothing as we all develop our careers. And that one's very special to me, because I did not really want to be a director. That's the irony. I told my instructors to their face, no, I'm not interested in directing. But after I took the class at their behest, I found out that, yeah, I kind of like it. I don't know that I will be a director in the future, but I believe that I can be. The biggest accomplishment is just finishing school. It is difficult at this age to do that. I'm 58. I'm soon to be 59 this year. And doing this without the youth to kind of keep you going is, I have found out, can be a little daunting at times. There's always an issue. Yes, you can be tired and back up here. You can be tired. You can always have a medical issue like old joints, they always need repair or they need fixing or whatever. But it's being able to keep up with the students, and the typical age student obviously is somewhere right around 18 to around their mid-20s. That's where all the vibe is at, that's where all the energy is at, and it's good to be around that. But it can be tiring at times, and I did suffer many times where, just could do nothing except fall asleep, literally sitting at my desk. Damn. But the accomplishment for me doing it at this age also means that I have a much greater appreciation for education. When I was younger, I didn't really care for it all that much. I thought it was just something that I had to do. My first college that I went to, I had a full ride scholarship, and because I didn't value that education, I ended up dropping out and leaving that behind. Now I see the errors of my way, and at this age, of course, being more seasoned, being more experienced, hopefully wiser, I certainly do appreciate the fact that I was able to do this and at this institution that we're at. One challenge that I can remember having the most was integrating into structured classes in person. It wasn't due to COVID. It was due to being, of course, injured. As I've said, the head injury was one thing, and I did not want to be around people. But the other part of that too is that behind that, for 15 years, my wife and I lived out in Bush, Alaska. For 9 months out of the year, it was population 2. So it is a shot to the senses to be around a lot of people, especially say like if we came from Bush, Alaska to Anchorage, it was like going to Los Angeles to us. And it took some getting used to. All right, I do remember what a flush toilet is, I think. I do remember what traffic is. All right. I do remember what the hustle and bustle is, but at the same time, when you were removed from all that, it's very easy to not have that in your life and not expect it on a daily basis. So for me, it was getting back into the swing of things and being around people. And it's also probably one of the most beneficial things as well, because it's good to be around people, for God's sake. I mean, this is what we do, especially in film and performing arts. It's a collaborative effort, so you need to be around people in order to make this happen. I was a classical guitar player for 17 years. Not many people know that. And as I've gotten older, again, joints wear out. And so all that guitar playing I did back in my youth has kind of caught up to me. I can't effectively play that genre of music anymore, but I still do play. Well, maybe the one thing that it stood out to everybody is that I write more than anybody else. Let me explain that. I really want to have a sense of professionalism in everything that I do in FLPA. So, for example, if we're making a student film, I don't want it to look like a student film. And I try to go the extra effort that I can. And this is the key thing, to honor my instructors' teachings. I find that to be something that I have to have. So if I'm going to stand out in any way, shape, or form, I want to represent those teachings of Maya Sarganek, Cade Mendelowitz, Carrie Baker, and there's another instructor, Daniel Ponickley, that has come on board as an adjunct instructor. He taught Acting 3 this past semester, and he opened up just yet another world for me to explore. And it is so important for me, again, to honor those teachings and to carry that forth out and show other people, to enact it, to live it out, to make my own life happen in a professional career. I stand strongly by that. Without them, none of this would be possible, and I will carry on that good work as best I possibly can. I would not worry about trying to stand out. Show up, do the work, and work as hard as you possibly can, and the rest will come. This came out of left field for me. I had no idea. I just had a determination to do the very best that I possibly could. It's plain and simple. Do the very best that you possibly could. The people here at this college, UAF, in your department will recognize that. And I'm proud and honored to have all this, but again, it was a surprise, and I'm very grateful for it. And it kind of gives me a little bit of, I don't know, maybe some sort of validation to myself, which I am my world's biggest critic. But work hard. That is the key to everything. And don't worry about trying to make an award out of this. The thing I'm always going to remember about college, once again, is its value of education. I cannot overstate that enough. It is so important to have that education. There were many times, like everybody else, I did not want to take a particular class. I still can't understand why it is that comic books are doing anything for me, but I did take a class on comic books. Funny story, actually, behind that, it kind of makes sense in a lot of ways, because they're like little pictures, obviously, but like a storyboard in a movie. So, maybe those can come to life in what it is I'm trying to do as a screenwriter and also possibly a director. But again, I just can't overstate the importance of education. It will come back to you, even math. Nobody wants to take math, but it does come back to you, but you will use it, trust me. Take it from an old man.